Today, I've got Jeffrey Brown on the show. Jeffrey is the owner of the Grout Medic of the Woodlands, Texas, where he helps homeowners restore and protect their tile and stone surfaces through craftsmanship, care, and high-quality service. After spending more than 2 decades in the software industry, leading teams and managing complex projects, Jeffrey made the jump into business ownership to build something local, hands-on, and meaningful. Jeffrey, I'm pumped to have you on. Welcome to the show, brother.
Thanks for having me, Sean.
Absolutely, man. So I'm getting to know you behind the scenes right before we hit record on the podcast. And for our listeners in our audience, we're just sitting at a coffee shop today having a man-to-man conversation, and we just so happen to hit record. I want you to take us back for a minute. What was going on in your life or your career when you started feeling pulled towards business ownership and taking that leap?
So I was obviously, as you mentioned, 20 years of software development. I had the last part of that career was spent almost 15 years with a startup company here in Spring. COVID hit. That particular company was funded by oil and gas VCs, and basically March of 2020, they put us on a call, and we were all sequestered, working from home, and they said, "Hey, everybody on this call has been let go. We pay you through today, and you can keep your laptop." And
Wow.
so I was like, "Wow, okay, that's earth shattering." And so that was the end of a 15-year career with a startup company here in Spring. July of that particular year, I hired on with another outfit, very similar product, but this time out of New Zealand. New Zealand was a strange case because here we are in the U.S., all sequestered, hanging out in our homes, not being able to go anywhere. And over there in New Zealand, they're going about their life as normal. I mean, they were in meetings, all bunched together. I mean, they basically shut down the whole country. So COVID took a while to get over there. Eventually it did, and they all started being sequestered and working from home as well. But I hired on with them because they needed a technical resource on this side of the pond, because they knew that all sales and stuff were here in the States. Worked with them for 2.5 years. Unfortunately, down economy. You're trying to sell $1 million pieces of hardware and software as a startup company. People typically aren't taking chances like that on a startup. And so, unfortunately, that company closed up shop. And so in 2024, I was basically in a position where a lot of my previous contacts here in the States were either retired or had retired. Old businesses like HP, they weren't hiring, and then just started looking at other avenues of, it's like, okay, how am I going to make money? And so did a lot of interviewing during that period of time, and basically had some conversations with some entrepreneur, some other friends that had various business dealings, and one of them in particular said, "Hey, you ever thought about start a franchise?" So I was like, "Nope, I hadn't thought at all." And being married to my wife Ginger, she's very risk averse, so she wasn't really on board with that kind of idea. But I started to pursue it. My background is electrical engineering by degree. I've always been in the software development world, but hobbies wise, I would always go through and work on my own house, work on friends' houses. So because of those interests, woodworking, I initially was looking at a franchise for a handyman, and started going down that path. And as I went down that path, my wife astutely said, "Hey, you're not doing the work. You're owning the business." So as we started thinking about that, it's like, okay, lots of moving parts in handyman. I mean, I can come in to a site and they can say, "Hey, I need electrical, I need plumbing, everything." And so obviously I'd have to hire for that.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, I decided, okay, let's shift gears a little bit. And the parent company that owned House Doctor, which is what I was looking at,
Mm.
also owned Grout. And so I decided to dig into that further, started to investigate um, basically the Grout situation here in Montgomery County.
Mm.
Obviously, I've been here for 20 plus years. So in Montgomery County is one of the fastest growing in the nation.
Yeah.
Houses are flying up left and right. And I mean, there's no shortage of Grout to be found.
Yeah.
Companies that actually want to service Grout, or there's actually not that many here locally. And so I had a bunch of them come out to the house, and I'm like, okay, if these guys can make it, then yeah. I mean, if this is my competition, well, I should be able to compete against that.
Mm.
And so I set forth, um, got um, got situated with that franchise, uh, and so that basically March of last year is when I opened my doors and we started basically working.
Yeah.
And during that period of time, I've grown from that single tech and an initial sales guy to now three techs and a helper. And so, and then I've actually taken on the role of sales at this point.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been an interesting run. Definitely um, not the path that when I got my degree in electrical engineering I expected,
Mm.
but it's definitely it's still problem solving, which is engineering at the core. So
Mm.
yeah.
Man, so congratulations on your 1 year or for your anniversary.
Thank you. Thank
Of course. What a beautiful story. And for our listeners and audience listening to this, a lot of times we get things thrown at us. Life happens, big lifestyle changes in these different areas of life. And for you, this was in your career. And after 20 years, that must have been a huge shift. I know for me personally, I've gotten terminated by multiple employers, and that's where my entrepreneur journey started. And you have a very similar journey after 20 years. And sometimes our backs up against the wall, and it's like, I'm a big believe here, and the Lord's not going to give us anything that we can't handle. So, okay, Lord, what do you want me to do? I'll be obedient. Well, I'm going to go out there and solve a need. I'm going to go out there and problem solve. And that's what you did. That's entrepreneurship. And here you are, fast forward a year later. So for somebody listening to this, I'm curious with you, man, that transition after 20 years, what has that taught you about identity, risk, and really reinventing yourself these last 12 months?
Yeah, the last 12 months, what has it taught me? I mean, patience. That it's a slight learning curve going from managing a bunch of white collar developers to managing uh, blue collar folks that in most cases are living paycheck to paycheck.
Mm.
So the levels of stress associated with that probably has gone up exponentially compared to managing white collar folks. I mean, they don't. I mean, if you get a slow period on a project, I mean, obviously over the course of 20 years, I mean, I've had to let people go and stuff like that, but you don't. Uh, there's it wasn't that sense of like, oh man, these guys trying to keep them fed,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And as I'm building the business, keeping them with enough hours
Mm.
to in a given week to basically be able to basically, I mean, keep food on their tables. And so it was definitely trying to figure out the scheduling and keeping enough business coming in and how to I mean, do marketing. I mean, my background is software development. So I'm now the CEO. I'm the chief operating officer. I'm the
Yeah.
marketing guy. I'm the sales guy. I am everything.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, how do I throw on all these different hats and and really just move forward and keep everything afloat, and then oh, by the way, I've got customers that have their own issues, and so trying to handle all of that. I mean, it really just comes down to patience. Like I said,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just take each thing as it comes in and just deal with it.
Yeah.
And a lot of my background in managing teams, I mean, that's kind of how I've always dealt with them. So it it's definitely served me well being trying to be patient with everything.
Yeah, I love that you share that patience. That's when I heard you say that, my resting heart rate went down a little bit. I had a little bit more peace in my body, in my soul, because that's the complete opposite of my personality and temperament is I'm an impatient patient person.
Yeah.
So I resonate with you, and I know so many of our listeners and viewers resonate with you as well because we want it now. We need to create that urgency now. And some business owners drag their feet. But what I love about your journey so far is you're not only aware of that, but you're also replacing yourself with these different roles. You said you had some technicians and you've got a small team and now you're the sales and now so you're replacing yourself in these different roles. And yes, you do wear several hats, but I feel like there's a light at the end of the tunnel and you're headed in that direction on replacing yourself in that ladder of who you're actually wanting to become in your company. And so many entrepreneurs and business owners, they lack that. They're the technician. They're the ones, if you mentioned 50 different hats on what it takes to run a business, they're wearing all 50.
Yeah.
You may be wearing 40 right now. Well, at least and you just repeat that process. Well, I've got some technicians. I've got customer service. I got an admin. And you just replace yourself because so many people get into business because of X, right? They got fired like we did, or they wanted financial freedom, time freedom. But what they don't realize when they pick their head up in a year, 2 years from now is, oh, I'm doing 50 different jobs. And you've got 50 different jobs. And they don't start replacing yourself, but you have, and you're on that process. I wanted to tap in a little bit because I know a lot of times business owners, when they scale and when they grow, you are big on service. You are big on that communication. You're big on that dependability. And I couldn't agree with you more. And there's nothing more frustrating for as a customer and a consumer and also a business owner when there's that lack of thereof of communication and of dependability and relying because we're all human beings, whether it's doing business with somebody or not. But what does that great customer experience for you look like in a local business today and how you conduct your business?
I mean, it really starts with being responsive. Obviously, and that's probably one of the biggest challenges because with this particular business, leads can come into through different aggregators, Angie's List, Thumbtack. They can come in through the web portal. They can come in via text. I mean, there's a million avenues of communication that a customer can use to get to us. And so trying to keep that all um, coherent is a huge challenge. And so I'm constantly trying to figure out better ways to improve on that. Obviously, as we've talked about previously, AI, trying to leverage some of that
Yeah.
as I move forward to how can I create some protect maybe some AI bots or something that can help leverage and maintain that communication and funnel it to proper sources.
Mm.
Uh, that's really trying to keep that in line so that nothing gets lost. So when a request comes in from a customer, especially after a job is done and there's an issue, making sure that that is addressed in an appropriate amount of time. I mean,
Yeah.
so those things. Um, uh, I mean, obviously, the technicians they go out, they do the best they can. I mean, our business, we're going in, we're and oftentimes, I mean, we've got situations where the showers or the floors, I mean, they look like they haven't been maintained in 20, 30 years, and
Yeah.
so we're trying to to really put a shine on that, change out the silicone, whatever. And there's water that bubbles up from different places, and we uncover things that we weren't expecting. So being able to handle those situations, and keep my technicians calm and let them handle those situations
Yeah.
without being fearing of getting yelled at or whatever. I mean, I'm certainly guilty of uh, getting excited at times, um, but I try to keep it even keel, and and have them go out to the customer and fix the problem. I mean, as long as we are actively engaging with the customer and doing what we say we're going to do, I
Yeah.
mean, that's really the important thing,
Yeah.
and making sure that at the end of the day they're happy with the product.
Yeah. I think that's really good, man. I love that you share that. And that's a couple mental notes that I took in my head is like not only making sure that you have the right people for the right job that are there to serve the customers, but also communicating with them through that process. Because a
Uh-huh.
lot of times in service-based businesses, we'll get the call, we'll do the job, but we don't communicate with that customer through that process. And then 2 or 3 days go by, they get the invoice. Whoa, what even happened here? But
Yeah,
the businesses that have taken them through that process, documented the journey, held that customer's hand through that, and then making sure before they send the invoice that, hey, is this up to completely satisfied? Man,
yeah.
those are the ones that are really building those customer referrals and customers becoming those raving fans.
Yeah, that is the number one thing, and it's definitely one of the things the follow up after everything is done. That is still I'm still struggling in that area a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, for the most part, um, getting the final follow up and making sure that that's everything is 100% done.
Yeah.
I mean, it really falls right now on my technicians to make sure that before they leave, everything is good. But I think I'm still missing a couple steps after that
Yeah.
to follow up and really get those Google reviews and those other little touch points. So that's I'm learning, getting better, but I definitely need to get some of that stuff a little bit more automated
Yeah.
because going back to having so many hats, I mean those kinds of touch points are crucial at building those relationships, and I need to definitely improve on that. I,
Yeah. One of the things that we do we've done at the insurance company is as automation has really come a long ways over the years. When we first started, we were manually sending everything and emails. But man, what do you currently use as far as a CRM system?
so yeah, so we use Service Titan, and
Service
so
Titan.
Service Titan, it's a very good tool. It's not it's more geared towards like plumbing and electrical type of services. So it kind of works for us. The franchise is going to be looking to roll out here in the coming months a new CRM, which they claim is a little bit more geared towards our business.
Yep.
So we'll see. And I've been told that there's some better automation as far
Yeah.
as being able to put into there, hey, this job just completed. Okay, let's go ahead and send out those emails that say, okay, hey, here's the steps to clean
Yeah.
your grout and tile properly.
Yeah.
Here's the link for our Google review, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
which the Service Titan it doesn't really have that
Mm.
capability, is or at least I haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's going to be a game changer. And I would just encourage anybody listening to this to look into that because you're right. I mean, you're not trying to work harder, you're trying to work smarter. And especially with a fast paced environment with automation and repetitive tasks, Google reviews, emails on what steps to take after you finish the grout. And I think that's brilliant. And that's just going to only provide a better customer experience for that customer. So I love that you're aware of that and you're working on that to make that a better experience for your customer. Now, when you think about everything you're building right now, the last 12 months, and that's taken a lot of your time, energy, and effort. What would you say matters most to you in this season of life that you're in?
What matters the most? Well, I mean, so starting a new business at 50 is definitely, it wasn't on my radar for certain.
Mm,
Basically, what matters the most on the business side is building something that I can be proud of and
yeah,
does. Um, I mean, it provides a good service to the community. I don't want just to throw something together that is causing people problems. I mean,
yeah,
I don't want to send my technicians in there, and I don't want them to just rush through the job and go on to the next one. I mean, obviously, I want to make money, but
mhm,
but I mean, that I feel is gonna come as we get a better reputation, as we get better at what we're doing. So, I mean, really, the focus is how do we get to that point where we are the people that, oh, if we're thinking of tile and grout, okay, yeah, we're going to call Jeff.
yeah,
So, I mean, that's really I mean, when I look back to my career as a software developer, I mean, it was always, are we doing the right thing? Are we doing the right thing by our customer? Are we
yeah,
doing the right thing by our employees? It's just that aspect is critical. And then, of course, in my own personal life, I mean, obviously, family is number one. So I've got I've got one child in college. I've got another one that'll soon be in the same university, University of Arkansas. So being an empty nester is going to be it's going to be kind of an interesting little change in my life.
yeah.
Um, so
Mm.
yeah, it's going to be
Mm.
fun.
Well, so, and one of the things that I'm hearing you say is that you're able to spend a lot of time, energy, and effort in building this thing, and it's giving you a sense of fulfillment by serving and impacting and in building something for what you're trying to do, and it's a vehicle to be
Yeah.
able to do that. Now, becoming a business owner these last 12 months, how has it changed the way you think about family time and legacy and what you're doing?
Um, yeah, family time and legacy. I mean, having my own business, obviously, yeah, it's nonstop. But um, it's still very important for me to have that time with Logan. He's a senior this year, about to head off. Uh, have like this weekend, I'm going up to Arkansas to visit Colin. So he's playing lacrosse this weekend. So it's having the freedom to be able to do that. I mean, it's still a bunch of work because I've got to get everything lined up, and I mean all the normal things that I would normally take care of over the weekend. I gotta compress into the next couple days, but
Yeah.
it's um, it definitely gives me the flexibility to be able to do those things and be able to be there for the boys, be there for my wife, and still be able to build business. It's yeah, it's 24/7.
Yeah.
Trying to get everything juggled is definitely over this last year. It's been a lot.
Yeah.
So definitely, I mean, it's definitely not that. I mean, in the software development, the 9 to 5 kind of thing mentality where I mean, it's like, okay, yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, I can go home for the weekend and not think about this stuff. Well, this is my business, so
Yeah.
it's only going to be as good as the amount of energy I put into it.
Yeah.
So it's yeah, it's always in the back of my mind, but having that business, um, and having something that potentially my boys can come back and either work on or take over someday. That's um, always in the back of my mind as well.
Yeah.
I mean, right now I've got one child that he was originally thinking finance, and now he's thinking medical like his mom. So I'm hoping that he goes medical, which would be great. And
Yeah.
then Logan, he says he's going to go engineering. So
Mm.
that can bring him anywhere. So
Now, you talk about your sons, and I know you love them deeply. When your sons look back in the season of life that you're in right now, one day, what do you hope he sees or they both see in how you led your life and business?
um, yeah, I just hope they see that I'm doing things with honor, with integrity.
Mm.
Um, just trying to do right by them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, man. We'll make
Nice.
sure. Beautiful. Now, we're wrapping things up, and this is one of our listeners and audience's favorite part of the episode. We do quick fire questions. Instructions are simple. Quick answers, don't overthink it, okay?
All right.
All right, first question. One leadership lesson the software world taught you.
Be patient.
One thing every local business owner should obsess over.
Marketing.
Marketing. Biggest mistake people make when starting over.
Overthinking and not
Ooh.
making decisions.
So good. What matters more long term? Skill, consistency, or communication?
Consistency.
When you hear the word legacy, what comes to mind first?
Kids.
Hmm. Well, Jeffrey, thank you for being on the show today. Thank you for saying yes. This has been a great conversation, man. I really appreciate your story, your heart, your conviction behind what you're doing, and your leadership. You've also stepped out to build something that's meaningful and local with excellence. And I know a lot of our listeners, leaders, and entrepreneurs got a lot of value from this episode today. So if you're listening right now and you know you need to get around the right people to be challenged, sharpened, and grow in business, leadership, health, and life, come be our guest on the Level Up and Live Mastermind Group. We meet every Friday at Honor Cafe in Conroe, Texas, 7:30 a.m. to 9:15 a.m. We'd love to have you in the room. Jeffrey, thank you again for being on the show, brother.
Thanks, Sean. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Have a wonderful day.